Okay, so I have to polish up these headlights on this F-150, and I figured I might as well show people how to do it. I hear a lot of people saying that the do-it-yourself headlight restoration kits don't work, and the truth is they really do if you know how to do it right. Let's show you what we're working with here. This one has been done a few years ago, and it's clouding up again. You can see the difference here versus the turn signal. For some reason, the turn signals never really haze up like the headlights do. So this isn't as bad as it could be. I've done much worse, but it's still getting kind of cloudy. Just as comparison, I've already done the other side. You can see it's much better. Now these headlights are actually somewhat frosted from the factory, so you don't quite get the real transparent look to them. So that's about as good as they get. Some cars, they're crystal clear when it's all said and done. Now the kit I use is made by 3M. It's available at AutoZone. And the one thing that I can tell people when they go to buy it is that it really works better if you use a corded drill and not a cordless one. The drill I use here is this DeWalt thing. It's corded, as you can see. It's just a cheapo drill. It was only like a $30 drill. I don't really go high end and buy like a $300 cordless. Just kind of pain in the ass because every time you go for it, the battery's dead. This one you just plug in and it works, and they're more powerful anyway. So here, I'll show you what you have to do with the headlights here. Okay, so the kit comes with this auger thing you put in the drill. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's where the pad's attached to. The first steps are, it comes with 2 different grits of sandpaper. This is the first one. This is a 500 grit. Has a Velcro backing goodness. Sticks on there. After you're done with that one, it goes up to this, which is higher. Who knows how much. Very fine sandpaper. After that, it comes with this like abrasive impregnated disc. I think they call it a Trivac disc. This has to be used with water. After you're done with that, it has a buffing pad, and it comes with a polishing compound. You use each of these in certain steps, and eventually, it ends up looking clear. And I'll show you how each one works here. The other thing they include in the kit is just this little roll of masking tape. What you want to do is just mask off anything in the area that isn't the headlight. You can only do so much. No matter what, it's going to get on just about everything once this thing starts slinging, especially with the polishing compound at the end. You just want to mask up all the paint. This is more so just so you don't hit anything with the actual disc. Like I said, it's still going to sling all the compound all over the place. But they give you a nice little roll of this stuff, so just apply this everywhere you have to. Okay, I think we're going to call that good enough. We're just about out of the tape anyway. So the first disc you have to use is this tannish disc, and like I said, it just goes on the Velcro right onto it. And what you're aiming to do with this step is you want to sand the headlight until all the yellow or discoloration is taken out of it. You're not looking to make it clear. As soon as the headlight turns like a powdery looking white, you're done with the sandpaper. Now, when you first start doing this, you're going to think all you've accomplished is destroying your headlight, because it will make it look much worse. But like any kind of sanding, you got to start with a thicker or heavier grit first and work your way finer. And basically the heavier grit is taking off the oxidation, and as you go to the finer grit, it's going to actually polish it clearer and clearer once you get the oxidation off. So you just want to keep this thing moving. The hardest part to avoid are these little, like the casting nipples in the headlights. If you hit them, it's going to whip this thing out of your hand. But just keep the thing moving so you don't burn through any spots. See what I did is actually turning white, but you can tell the yellow, like what's still down here, is vanishing because you're actually sanding into the headlight and taking off that outer layer that's discolored. about done with that step, and as you can see, all it did was really turn the headlight into a cloudy mess, where at least before it was somewhat transparent. That's fine. The next step is this white disc, which doesn't even really feel like it has any grit on it at all. But this will take the heavier scratches you just created by taking off the oxidation from the headlight. So pretty much the same thing. This one, you're looking to take some of the whiteness out into a more uniform appearance. It should become somewhat transparent, but it's still going to look like garbage when you're all said and done with this step. So just go over it about as long as you did the other one, and you'll be safe. Okay, so that's about that step. What they want you to do now is take a clean towel and wipe off the dust you created. What you should notice now is the headlight is getting somewhat transparent. You can see the details of the reflector inside now, and the yellowness is gone. Now you're actually going to get into the polishing step. You have to use this weird looking foamy Trizac disc. There's some kind of abrasive actually impregnated into this foam that activates when you get wet. And you want a bottle of water. If you use this bottle of water, it looks horrendous because the inside of the bottle is dirty. It's good enough for me. I assure you, that is actually just water. Just mist some on there, get this thing kind of wet, and start going to town polishing it. That's about it with that step. Now once again, just take a clean towel, wipe off all the gunk that just left behind, which in my case is mostly from that rancid water I was using, because it's what I have. Now you can see the headlights almost looking presentable. Now your next step is going to be remove the Trizac disc, or whatever it is, Trizac foam thing. Put on this polishing pad. Also has this little Velcro-ness there. And the kit comes with this packet of rubbing compound. So just squeeze some up here. You want to put it on the polishing pad here. And here's the important part, so you don't get gunk in your face. Start rubbing it on the headlight a little bit. If you turn this thing on full blast, all it's going to accomplish is removing all of the polishing compound off the wheel onto everywhere in your surroundings. Now use this thing slow until it starts getting some of the compound on. I'll just spread it all the way around the headlight. As you can see, you're now safe to commence buffing without flinging compound everywhere. There you go. Last step is just take some glass cleaner,
acid water, whatever you may be using, and you'll see that magically it didn't ruin your headlight, and it's actually pretty clear. Like I said, the results on these headlights aren't really that impressive because they're kind of frosted from the factory. They're not like a crystal clear lens on these. I could have picked a better example. Subarus get better, just did a set of them. Peel off your tape. You're probably going to want to wash your car now because there's gunk all around your headlights. But the good news is that your headlights look pretty good right now. Definitely a lot better than spending upwards of $200 a piece for new headlights because they're a little bit frosted over. Especially for a safety standpoint. So your car can fail inspection for this if you have state inspection. There you go. Hope you learned how to save yourself some money. Like I said, this is a 3M kit. Available in most auto parts stores. It's only like $23. So yeah, knock yourselves out.